Hey everyone, Snackbox here, checking in from beautiful Grant Park in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm starting the first of a 28-part series. That's right, 28 parts telling you all about what to expect on the Colorado Trail and offering you a number of tips for surviving each and every section. Check out this new Melly from Leadville, Colorado. I won the lottery, so get at me. Let's check out section 1 of the Colorado Trail. The first thing you need to know about segment 1 of the Colorado Trail is that it starts in Waterton Canyon. This is a really easy stretch by way of elevation gain, but don't let that fool you. Pay attention to the heat. It's a completely exposed section of the hike. There's no shade anywhere. Be aware of this. Also know that you don't have to carry water through the first 6 miles because you'll have a river running beside you the entire time, so don't carry extra weight. Make sure that at this point you have a Colorado Trail data book from the Colorado Trail Foundation. Gut Hook is really great. I used it myself on my through hike, but phones get wet, batteries die. You want that hard copy on this waterproof paper to make sure you know how to make it through. My next tip is to start early. Remember I mentioned all of that exposure? You're gonna be dying, sweating out there. Heat's gonna be beating down. You're gonna have a pack on that's brand new. Your feet are gonna be sore because it's that hard track. Pay very close attention to your feet. If your feet start to get hot spots, stop, put on some Leuko tape, make sure you cover up those hot spots so you don't get blisters. There's nothing worse than walking 500 miles with blisters on your feet. And spoiler alert, chances are good if you have blisters on your feet, you're not making it 500 miles, so take good care of them from the beginning. My next tip is stop at Bear Creek, stay a night. Don't push it. Take the first couple of days really easy. Spend 2 days on segment 1. If you stop at Bear Creek, you're gonna be at this really cozy little campsite, lots of cover, and then you'll have an 8-mile day the next day that is a little bit of climbing on the front end and a lot of bit of downhill on the next, and you're gonna get to the South Platte River in time to get one of those prime camp spots. Which brings me to my next tip. If you plan to make it to the end of segment 1 to camp, you need to leave very early because the end of segment 1 is on a pretty steep decline, so there aren't a lot of great camp spots, and the ones that are there will be taken up early, so you want to get there very early. My last couple of tips are just about through hiking in general. I got lots of tips for you. First of all, drink lots of coffee before you start. That's going to help out quite a bit. This is for any long hike that you're going to do, particularly if you're brand new to the hiking and camping game. I like to take some Benadryl or maybe something, some Tylenol PM, whatever it may be, to help me sleep and get a good full night's sleep, maybe some melatonin. This is really, really important because the first night that you're sleeping outside, there will be noises you've never heard from your tent, from the woods, from the trees creaking. You're still really, really safe, but you want to make sure that you're taking good care so that you can get a good night of rest. I got news for you. Segment 2, it's a bruiser. It's not terribly long, but it is hard. Hard. I think it's possible with the right amount of planning. My biggest tip for any of you starting out on a long through hike like this is a really important one, so pay close attention. At the end of the first segment, there is a parking lot for day hikers. This is a really great thing because what I'm going to encourage you to do is to have somebody meet you there either at the end of the first day or at the end of the second day. This is so that as you start hiking and you feel every pound on your shoulders, you will be able to decide what you really need and what you don't need so much, and you can send that home with them or send it wherever. But I can promise you, as you get to the end of Waterton Canyon and you start climbing up that mountain, every pound starts bearing down on your shoulders. You're gonna realize pretty quickly, you know what, maybe that hatchet I brought, not such a great plan. This isn't so good. Or maybe that, I brought a unicycle, I was gonna learn to unicycle out here, maybe that's not so great either. You're gonna learn that at the end of a long day, you're too tired to do a lot of things that you thought you were going to have a lot of time to do. So have somebody meet you at the end of that first 17 miles and drop some of it off and make sure that it goes home with them, because the sooner you can get rid of unnecessary weight, the better your chances of finishing this through hike. Here's the thing, take your time with it. I know you're starting out, you're excited, you've probably been planning this hike for months and months, if not years, but take your time with it. Spend some time taking some photos, take some time doing videos, read a book, dip your feet in the river there. Do whatever it takes for you to have a good time. Ease your way into it. Don't work yourself into injuries and blisters in the first 10 minutes of your through hike. It's a marathon at the very least, so have a great time with it. It's a great trip. It's beautiful. Know this, the first 4 or 5 sections are not incredibly beautiful compared to the the last 10 sections. So you want to make sure that you are working your way through and keeping your head in the game. And this goes for anybody starting a long hike, whether you are a seasoned Triple Crowner or maybe this is your first adventure ever. Go buy yourself a really nice bar of chocolate. Get one of those ones that comes in the little pouch. Maybe not one of those Colorado chocolates, you know what I mean? Maybe take one of those, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Get a really nice bar of chocolate. This is not for a snack. This is not for just every day. What I want you to do is save it, and then you're gonna break off a piece when you hit those lows. When you feel like, you know what, things are just not going well, I keep tripping, my shoulder's sore, I miss home. You're gonna hit some lows on the trail, I promise you, but that piece of chocolate will often help bring your spirits up. If you're hiking with somebody else, their job is to tell you when to eat the chocolate and vice versa. Gonna help, I promise you. It's gonna be the best trip of your life. We're gonna check back in with segment 2 soon. Be ready for it because I can promise you segment 2 is a doozy. So I'll see you then. Drink some coffee. This is real cold though. Can you tell it's cold coffee from my face? Yeah, I'll still drink it though. I ain't classy. Dudes.